Hey, Bigfoot Tony here. So what I would like to talk about next is the dog paw prints. So MK Davis is suggesting, I don't want to say claiming, maybe he is claiming, I don't know. A lot of people will say that he is claiming, I guess, but I'm going to say for now that he's suggesting the possibility that there were dogs and a hunting team there during the time of the filming of Sasquatch. And as you know, a lot of people now believe that, through the work that MK has done and other people have done, and the theories that other people have put forward, and some of MK's theories as well. Okay, not MK's theories, but MK's analysis on this subject, this topic. Many people now believe that there was an actual massacre, and that human-like Bigfoot creatures were killed at the time. So whether it's true or not, I don't know. And still, Bob Gimlim is getting a lot of hate and even apparently death threats because of this. His reputation is not doing so well because of this. And we have to really. I personally, I think it's a lot of it is because of what MK has done. Where he's publicly put this idea forward. Maybe he wasn't the first person to do it, but he's certainly one of the main people in this. So I agree. I disagree. I really disagree with a lot of the evidence which MK is putting forward concerning this topic. Not because I have any problem with MK Davis. I really don't. He's done amazing work. But I can't lie here. It's just what I see. Whether there was a massacre, whether there were killings at the time or not. Like I say, I don't know. So here MK is saying that this is a paw print here, and it's stained red. And there's also apparently, according to MK Davis, possibly a handprint on this log here. Alright, and now I'm going to go into that. First I want to read some statements by John Green and Robert Gimlim. I'll leave a link to this interview also in the description. This was on Larry Batson's interview with John Green and Bob Gimlim. So 001415, Larry: John, after they filmed this, when did you get down to Bluff Creek? John answers, the following year. Anyway, these are just kind of main points which I think are kind of related to the dog, the so-called dog team. Bob explains how Roger was fast asleep at the time, had to cover the tracks as it was raining. Since Roger had called the track people that had track dogs up in Canada to come down there, so if they didn't have anything to go by, as the rain would have washed them out, then there wouldn't be any tracking at all. So 002730, Larry asks, how many times had you and Roger been in that area before that day? Bob: I'd never been there. John, referring to Roger Patterson: he'd been down there in 1964, 3 years earlier. 003155, John explains he received an email from Al Hodgson, saying what David Paulides has been accusing him of. Paulides then denied having said it, not knowing that John had it in print. None of this came direct from MK Davis, says John. Paulides was claiming that John Green and Gimlin were harboring a dark secret. Paulides says that he got his hands on a fairly old copy of the PG film, according to John. John, it dawned on me that he was talking about the tracking film belonging to Renee de Hinden, of when we were down there several weeks earlier and not in the same place. 004550. Bob, there was nobody down there but Roger and I. John, jokingly, they, referring to certain analysts, got a picture what they have identified as a pile of horse shit. In one of Renee's pictures, the horse shit had square edges. Laughter. It's actually quite funny when you listen to it. In one of MK's videos, he explains, he found this, I don't know where he got this from. Anyway, he has this image here in one of his videos, this one here, which apparently I think it was being either sold or displayed somewhere for the public, I think, and you know, like kind of a postcard situation, I guess. So I've done, I've aligned these two images here. As you can see, these trees are in line, these trees are in line, these trees are in line, these trees are in line. If I move it over here, we can see it's roughly the same size anyway. And MK is saying that this is a blue pen mark marking the area where they want to crop the image, where they wanted to crop the image to hide the so-called dog print, so-called bloody dog print. But to me, okay, it does look like an arrow. Fair enough, like a ballpoint pen arrow, and if that is the case, it doesn't mean that it's because they want to hide the dog print. To me, it's just a good place to crop. Like in photography, this is like all a negative space. You don't need this space, and you know, you want to crop into a nice area, and you want to fill up the frame correctly. So this is just nicely framed with this kind of rocky area here, or wood, whatever that is. It's just a good place to crop. That's that. So like I say, MK says that this is a bloody paw print left by the dogs that were there, and again, Bob Gimlin and John Green are adamant that there was nobody there except Bob and Roger on that day. This is another image I received from somebody, and here's the so-called paw print here. Exactly the same shadow, small hole in the ground. And here's a cropped and enhanced version. So looking at this, where are the other so-called paw prints, and why is there just one? Because it's not a paw print, that's why. And when you look at it, there's 1, 2, 3. No, there's only 3 toes. I will do a quick enhancement for that if you want. So there's 1, 2, 3. I mean, you can see on MK's video, it's a lot clearer than mine, that there is actually, yeah, now you can see that it's red because I've added too much contrast, which is what MK does. So there are only 3 toes, so it's not a dog print, and there are no other prints in the area, as you can see. And it's not red. I've taken it into here, Lightroom, and see, this is a saturation. You can saturate, you know, like this log here has an orange kind of color to it. When you put the orange up, the orange goes up. So if this paw print was red, it would go up. You would see red. And this would become red as the log becomes orange, because it has an orange color in it. And also there's kind of a bluish color here, bluish tint, and that will, as you can see, that goes up, as does the green. The green The green goes up and down here, and the yellow, if there's any yellow, there you go, there's some yellow there. So there's no red. It's not, might become red if you add contrast to it. Okay, so it's no paw print, and he's saying that this is a hole that's been dug by this what he said looks like a spade or shovel handle or something, and this is a handprint from somebody. Well, no. Here is this is what it's from. It's from this one here. Look at all these sticks. There's all sticks all over the place with some darker areas on them. It's a stick with a dark area on it, simple as that. And this is not a hole dug, it's just a darker shade of sand, same as this. Maybe it's kind of a bank area, you know, like a higher area possibly, but and that is not a handprint, I don't believe. I mean, where are the other fingers? You know, it comes down to, again, like pareidolia. You know, you see things that you want them to be. You know, if you want this to be a handprint, it can be a handprint. If you want this to be a dog, it can be a dog. You know, if you want this to be a face, it's got two eyes, a nose, and a mouth. Then I can, you know, that's also some kind of animal, you know, or an alien or something. And this is from MK's video, because mine is a bit funny, but this is well, still the same. Actually, this line, which would be a finger, actually carries on, continues to the end of the top of the log. You know, so it's not a hand. And he says that this is actually a pile of horse you know, crap. And they were joking in the interview, saying that it's square. You know, it's a square pile. So it's a pile of rocks, basically. That's what they're saying. And which it is. It's just a pile of rocks. It's not from a horse, because that would be round, circular. And here's the dog that he was saying was could have been there on the day. And I proved, I kind of proved that in part 2, the last one, that there's no red in this hole. So that's what he's saying, is that the red paw print came from this dog, possibly, and that he stepped in this puddle full of blood and skinned Bigfoot there. That's what he's saying. I proved in part 2 that that's not red. It's just because that would mean that the pants are red also. It's just a brown colored muddy puddle that when you add lots of contrast, it becomes red, but it's not actually red. Oh, and here you can see a different frame of the what NK says was the hole dug by the spade. This is the spade, a much poorer copy, as you can see, a much poorer frame. It's also quite blurry. And this is what MK says is the hole. Okay, he doesn't say that it's the hole, but he infers that he is suggesting that this is the hole dug by this spade, and the handprint is on here. But it's just part, as you can see, it's just part of the darker shade of sand. It's the sandbank, I guess you would call it. I don't know. But that kind of circular area there is what MK is saying is this part, and he's saying it was a hole dug by this what he's saying looks like a spade. You know, I'm not saying he's claiming this, but he's definitely suggesting it, which is enough, you know, for his followers to believe, to accuse Bob Gimlim and others that, you know, of killing Sasquatch on the day. And I'm just doing this simply because not that I believe it's true or not that it happened, I don't know, you know, as I keep saying. But people deserve to see for themselves what is actually there in the film. People deserve to have to think, you know, from a different perspective here. Okay, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think.